Hello and welcome to CRL Round 2. This is for F2, and we are at the Baku Grand Prix, and now we have 7 drivers again, as we did last week. We have a few people who haven't raced yet. We have Niall, who missed last race. We have Tobias, who missed last race. We have Josh, who's new to the league, and the other Josh, who just got the game. So it's going to be a good race to watch, and hopefully there's a lot of action. Obviously you can tell I'm not joined by Tommy this time because the audio was awful for him, so obviously we won't be dealing with that shit again. I'm at my nan's, so the Wi-Fi is a bit bad, unfortunately. So obviously commentary might be a bit bad, and as you can see there, Josh just goes straight on, and it's quite confusing because we've got 4 Joshes in the league, I think. So yeah, nice example of the lag there. But now we just watch as Josh is in first, followed by Nathan, then followed by Ethan, who current championship leader. He's sitting in third. Then we have Hayden, then we have Tobias, then we have Niall, and then Josh in 7th. And as they come to the line now, I think that's Josh that's about to take the pole position. He's a bit far ahead of Nathan, and I think that might be a pole position for him as he comes across the line to get pole position by quite a margin there. Let's actually see. Oh, cool. So that's Josh in first on his debut, and that's Nathan in second for Dams, followed by Ethan, followed by Hayden, followed by Josh, followed by Niall, and at the back is Tobias, who went on out on the mediums. I guess he's thinking strategy, to be fair. So that's Josh getting 4 points for pole position. So now we wait to start the feature race. It's a 50% race this time because 25% wasn't long enough. So we have a bit of an overcast weather there. It looks like it's going to rain, but the drivers will now be thinking, like, looking at their strategy, realise the weather and be like, okay, this is the best strategy for me. Now we wait for everyone to ready up because they're all sly. Let's hope that we have a turn 1 like it was in Bahrain, where we had like 4 cars all battling for each other. Nathan spinning round. That was a collision there that we had to take. We didn't take any action from. But now, as we go to 5 red lights in this race, lights out and away we go, and it's a all right start, I think, for everyone. Hayden's got a good start already, coming ahead of Ethan, but Ethan comes back at him down the inside there, and looks pretty clean from everyone further back. Hayden's lost that position, obviously. Niall's gone up a few, and Niall now goes past, and Hayden's all, I think Hayden's crashed. Yep, Hayden's gone straight on. He's on the mediums, so we'll now look at the tyres. No, I don't want, Jesus Christ. We'll look at tyres now. Everyone else is on the mediums, and Josh is on the softs, so we'll see how this strategy plays out for Josh, if he can win, obviously, because he'll be on a faster tyre for the start section. We wait to let's just look at a group chat first. Okay, right. So Josh now 2 seconds ahead of Nathan already. Obviously 2 tyre compounds faster, so it's not really Josh's battle at the moment. well, Josh has got no competition at the moment when he's on these tyres, but Nathan, our current world champion, is in second, followed by our current leader in the championship of Ethan in third. So, and that's Tobias that's made a move on Josh now. Obviously, Josh only just having the game, so this battle's quite good actually between these two as he loses the rear. So now Tobias is going to have a pretty decent run on him, and let's see if he can. Oh, he has to. Oh, okay. And he's got past Josh. Like now 2 second gap. But Hayden's in last. It's not like it's not by. It's not like he's like just behind in last. And it even goes round the outside of Nathan and makes it look easy. So Ethan's definitely showing his stuff and why he is the championship leader at the moment. And there's a yellow flag in oh, okay, there was a yellow flag, but been cleared. There's the yellow flag in sector 1, it's been cleared again. Yellow flag in sector 1 again, I believe. I had a party overlay. I had party overlay on, so I couldn't hear. Hello. Oh yeah. Yellow flag in sector 1 again. So something's going on in sector 1. Is it Hayden just... Yeah, Hayden's going quite slow. We have, I believe it's both of the Russian time. No, they're not Russian time. Well, they shouldn't be at least. Oh, I may have messed that up then. But we have Josh leading 2.8 seconds ahead of Ethan, then quite a fair way behind. Well, yellow flag in sector 2, that's Josh who has gone slow. And yeah, Josh just taking it very easy. I think he must have front wing damage. We won't watch him and embarrass him though. And Ethan now sort of closing the gap to Josh, but not enough. And that's the other Josh in the wall. And I think he's either given up or he's spun it around completely. Yeah, but he's just decided that there's no point in continuing. So he will start in pole position if he doesn't retire, doesn't leave the session. He will start in pole for the sprint race. But lap 3 now as we're about to go on to, and Josh sets fastest lap, and Ethan now still 2.7 seconds behind. But Josh's tyres are going to be starting to go off because everyone anticipated the tyre wear, and that's why they went on the hards. So now we just have to... No real battles going on. Niall's not that far behind. Ethan actually is going to make a move. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. Is that Hayden? I don't know. I don't really care either. Might have been from Josh's retirement. Yeah, it's been cleared now, but Niall is right behind Nathan, so could propose a threat to, and to be fair, Ethan's not that far up the road, so we could have a 3-way battle for second. But obviously you'd rather get like a third or something and then start 4th on the grid for the sprint race than be second and start 6th. But I don't know. Yeah, it works out both ways. If you're a good driver, you'd rather start 6th and work your way back up. But now we wait and see if there's this battle between Niall and Nathan is going to get close enough that we can battle. It looks very overcast, got to say. I did set it to being... Well, I wanted to set it to a wet race, but then I realised that I kind of don't want people to hate me in these F2 cars. It must be bad to practice them wet. So I'll tell them if it's a wet race for F2 because the F2 cars need practice in the wet. So that's not an issue at this moment in time, but we have a 1 second gap now between Niall and Nathan, and that's it. Josh is in the pits because them tyres are dead, which is what I predicted because that's why everyone else is on the mediums. Now you've got Ethan in first. Hayden sets the fastest lap of the race. and Josh goes on to the medium tyres, hard tyres I should say, not mediums. He goes into the hard tyres because he realises that that's the better strategy, because you want to be on the hard tyre. And Ethan's lost it. Ethan's lost it from the lead. So that puts Nathan back in. Let's hope that there's not any collisions. Yeah, that is very unlucky for him. He just lost it on the exit. Probably because of these F2 cars. But that's put him now in 4th place. Hayden's only 7/10 behind, and Hayden seems very racy. And that, yeah, Ethan just doesn't have enough. Well, now doesn't have a front wing, so obviously will be very vulnerable as Hayden gets past. But look at that! Like, look at the amount of steering he has. He has no like air out at all. So that leaves Nathan now leading the race, and Niall in 2nd, Tobias in 3rd. Ethan now moves up at 4th. And that's because Hayden must have bottled it, because and Ethan's retired, so that will make him obviously championship leader. He's got quite a bit of threat from Hayden and Nathan, but Nathan's just been overtaken by Niall, and I didn't see it because of lag. But now he's back ahead. It's just really laggy at my nans. But anyway, Nathan still leads, followed by Niall, then Tobias, and then Hayden in 4th and Josh in 5th. We're going to see a lot of races or battles in the sprint race, because everyone seems very everyone seems quite chilled in this race. Like, obviously with 2 people retired, they will want to win the next race and do well, because obviously Ethan being a championship leader, he'll want to do really well. His championship rival of the other Ethan is not here at this race, so he's lucky for that. And wait, let me just look at the championship standings so far. It's in the group chat we have. Okay, we have no real bad comments. Now we look at the championship standings, and Nathan now is 1.2 seconds ahead, so he's definitely doing as well as he can as he goes a bit deep into there. His tyres don't seem that off at the moment, but in the current World Championship we have, Hayden's actually 2nd, so Hayden's going to propose a big threat to Ethan, only being 6 points behind, so that's the thing. Niall raced last race, I didn't even realise. I'm really sorry, Niall. So Niall's in 3rd, so I don't know what I'm going on about. Morgan, who's not here, Josh isn't here, Ethan isn't here, so Nathan should move up a few places, up to 4th. So that'll be good for him. Obviously we had a driver recently leave, literally like a few minutes before the race started, which was fun. So Cameron's left Carlin. We now have another space in F2. And I think someone disconnected, but I'm not sure who it was. The cars seem really oversteery. These F2 cars are so like hard to control. But we're on lap 6 now, so we're coming up to the halfway point. And nothing really going on, to be honest. A bit of a dead race. We have Nathan leading with Niall in 2nd, Tobias in 3rd, Hayden in 4th, and Josh in 5th because Josh is pit and he's about 19, 20, 21, about 26 seconds behind, so there's no real, like, he could get catch up and regain his lead. It's very unlikely, as these guys will probably make a 1 stop and he'll make a 2. He could do a 1 actually, but we're going to lap 7 now, and nothing's really going on. Everyone's got a massive gap between each other as Tobias sets the fastest lap. Niall comes into the pits and moves down to 4th. Let's see where he'll come out ahead compared to Hammy. Why am I calling him that? Compared to Josh, because obviously Josh pit earlier and Josh comes out ahead, so he's come out ahead of 2nd place. He's a net P2 at the moment, but there's a yellow flag in sector 1. I don't know who that was. Pit stop seems really long, so actually Josh could come back and get into the lead, but then he'll be like really, well, his tyres will be dead before these guys, so yeah. But now we just wait for Nathan to come round. He'll probably pit now because he doesn't want Niall to get the undercut on him. So let's see if he'll come into the pits or if he'll stay out for a few more. As are there front headlights or something on the on the cars? There's always like a little light next to it. Oh, okay. So it still looks a bit overcast, to be fair. Like, the weather's a bit like strange, but I know that what the weather's going to be, and I didn't really want to put rain because I knew I'd get killed. So that'll have to wait for another race. I'll put it on the CRL news thing. I'll tell them that it's going to be a wet race and they'll change their strategies and shit, sort themselves out. But Nathan comes on to lap 8 now, so we are past the halfway point, and big oversteer into the wall there at turn 1. Hopefully he hasn't got damage, or that could muck up his strategy, because I assume now he might pit for some softs. But I'm not sure in F2 if you need to make if you have to have 2 sets of tyres on, if you can just go, like 2 different compounds on, if you can just go medium to the end, because if you can, then fairs. Obviously we had 2 retirements in this race so far of Ethan and Josh, so big shame to see them go quite early on as well. Josh only did 1 lap and retired, and well, I think it was more than 1 lap. I think he must have pit, and no, it was really early, and Ethan only did 3, so you know, not really the best start to the, well, obviously Ethan had a brilliant start to the season, but by like winning the first race. So at the moment there's no real drivers that can, like, you can see as driver of the day, because obviously this beach race has been a bit dead. But so I think Josh, like the Immortals guy, he won't be racing in the sprint race. Hopefully his AI takes over instead, so he won't miss out on points completely from the sprint race. The yellow flag in sector 2. Try and have a quick look, and that is Niall. He was 2nd place, and Nathan stays out, so we're going to lap 9 now, and Tobias is actually really close behind, like only 1.4 seconds. And to be fair, the gap has been lower than that, but there's another yellow flag in sector 2. Is that, who is it? Oh, okay. But Niall spinning is mad because he's P2. He was P2. and then he pit, and now he's in P5 and spun round. So he's about 20. Yeah, he's about a pit stop now behind Josh. So his race has gone from really good to really bad. And there's 6 laps left, so maybe they can stretch the soft tyres 6 laps, surely. So they might, maybe they'll stop for the mediums just because they won't want to risk it on the softs. But we'll see soon, as the gap's now 1.5 seconds between Nathan and Tobias. And no one's pit yet. We're on lap 9, and well, these front runners haven't pit. Niall comes back into the pits because obviously he's just had that mad front wing damage. So that's a big shame for him. He was hoping that he could do well this race. But, you know, it's still the feature race. He goes into the softs, so he might be able to take them the rest of the race. Oh, are they called the mediums and the super softs? Thank God, I can call them that then. He goes into the super softs, and everyone else now on the mediums. Oh, I like that. That's much better than calling them softs and hards and crap. But 1.3 seconds now the gap is, so let's see if Nathan is going to come into the pits. He is not, so we have another lap round, and 1.1 second gap now is the gap between Tobias and Nathan. It's 1 second now. They're getting closer and closer to the DRS zone, but yeah, we're still waiting for that DRS to be able to be activated. Niall now about a minute behind Josh, so his race has gone to shit. Hayden now comes into pits, so Hayden's already lost his position to Josh, and he comes out on the super soft tyres. Josh will be able to go to the end on the mediums then, I think. At the moment, Nathan will be able to go to the end. Well, go a few more laps on these mediums, because he isn't struggling from what it looks like. He is having oversteer a lot, but I think that's just the F2 cars. So this race, obviously lap 10 out of 15, it's been about 20 minutes. So now we just wait for maybe a battle would be nice between Nathan and Tobias, because this race is really boring. And there you go, it's 2.5 seconds. What the? It's about 2 tenths now, so we could have a battle as we look on board with Tobias, and let's see, will he be able to get DRS? He will. At least I think DRS is a thing. As he comes down the straight, gets DRS. He's got slipstream, and he comes into the pits. Let's see, Nathan comes in as well, so Nathan's coming behind Tobias. So these two have now got to well, Nathan's got to find a way past Tobias in the pits, but Josh is now coming. Let's see, where is Josh? Josh is at the final corner, so, well, final actual braking corner. So let's see, is he going to get past these two as Tobias goes into the super softs and Nathan goes into the super softs. So now everyone else is on the super softs, and Josh gets past Nathan. And will he get past Tobias though? I don't think he has. He hasn't got past Nathan. I think he's just behind Tobias and a bit ahead of Nathan. Nathan was slow in the pits. He'll probably glitch like right behind them though. No, he hasn't. He's about 10 seconds behind. Oh, that's weird. So now we have a battle. It's not going to be a big battle because Tobias has now got the super soft tyres on, and Josh is on very old mediums, so there isn't going to be a battle between them two. Well, there could be still, but Tobias has now come out of nowhere to lead this race now and could potentially win it. So, yeah, well done him. Niall's got a 45-second gap to Hayden, so there's no real battle going on there. Josh has got quite a big gap of 8.4 seconds to Nathan, so it's not. Nathan has 4 laps to catch up to Josh, which is possible on these super soft tyres, but they could die after 4 laps. You never know. Like, see, very glitchy there. It's probably mine. But now we wait for, well, now we see Tobias go across the line, and he's 2.5 seconds ahead as we go into lap 12 now. He has a big gap to Josh, and Nathan's now got an 8-second gap to Josh. So we could be seeing a potential battle that could form. Hayden gets the fastest lap there with a 1:54.375. So we just wait for this race to actually not be dead, because at the moment it is dead. There are no battles going on whatsoever. Tobias now with a 3.2 second lead over Josh, and he's very comfortably ahead. Is that? Oh wait, no, we're on board with. Okay, and Nathan now about 7 seconds behind, so he's gained a second on Josh, and now we just. Now we wait for a battle to actually form, because everyone's like 2 seconds behind each other. There are no battles going on. Hopefully the sprint race is a bit less boring, and Josh gets a 3-second time penalty, so that will, well, at the moment Nathan needs to gain like 5 tenths, and then that'll be it, because Josh has a 3-second time penalty. So 3.4 second gap is just enough. So Nathan needs to gain about 6 tenths now to beat Josh and get P2. But Hayden is setting in some pretty rapid lap times, so we could see Hayden actually overtake Nathan. We're on lap 13 out of 15, so we've got 2 laps left. 3 laps left, actually. We've got lap 13, 14 and 15. So we've got 3 laps left, and there's a 2-second gap. I didn't even realise that Hayden, and that's it. So Nathan is now 2.7 or 2.5 seconds behind now. So even with the penalty, Josh will be behind. And he is getting to that point where he might even get behind Hayden, because Hayden's pretty rapidly catching. Let's see, yeah, now he would be behind. No, he wouldn't. He would almost be behind Nathan as well. There's a yellow flag. Is that 2? Is that Niall? Why do I always assume it's just going to be Niall? And there's a battle. Okay, so mad lag. So now Nathan's ahead of Hayden, who's ahead of Josh. Maybe Josh was the one that spun, and we didn't see that. So now Josh has spun round. So Nathan's now in P2 and Hayden's in P3. So Hayden can still get a P2 out of this because he's 1.8 seconds behind, and there's only like 2 laps left. But now we're on lap 14 out of 15. Hayden is quite close behind Nathan, but is on 1 lap older tyres. And in these F2 cars, 1 lap old is very costly. As Josh now comes into the pits, he'll come out near Niall. I think Niall will be behind him still. But yeah, now we just wait for Hayden and Nathan to get close again. They're 1.1. They're 1.1 seconds between each other. So we'll just wait for that gap to close. Yep, there you go. It's 7 tenths now. So going to be a cheeky battle forming there. And just to remind everyone, there is another stream today. If you're watching it live, 8 PM. Well, it won't be about 8 PM. It'll be about 8:15. With the F1 coverage, not the F2, and Josh is spun. So let's see as he'll come out, who's still ahead of Niall, so at least that's something, he's beating someone. But now we see this battle between Hayden and Nathan. They're really close, going around corners, and let's see as they go around the last, well, they've gone around the last corner, now they're in the tricky fast section. And Hayden seems really close to Nathan. He's using that slipstream. He pulls out to the left. Let's see if Nathan's going to defend. He's not. So Hayden's now on the left. Hayden picks up DRS. And as we're going on to the final lap now, Hayden's overtaken Nathan. Let's go on board with Nathan to see if he'll come back. I think he's been more cautious this race than he was last race, because obviously he spun like twice last race in Bahrain. But it's still looking very overcast, but it doesn't matter, it's the last lap. And it looks like Nathan's going to size up and move. He doesn't. Let's see. Oh, he touches the wall there, just turns in too much. And that causes hopefully no damage. He's lucky he's not retired. But we now only have like a lap left. As yellow flag is set to 2 laps. I would see and Nathan is now 1.2 seconds behind. But we'll go on board with the race leader, and unless he retires in the next few corners, he will be the on his debut get the feature race win. And as he's about to cross the line now, Tobias, out of nowhere, obviously with that pit stop that really helped him, now wins the feature race for round 2 in Baku. And he'll hope to carry that form into the sprint race. Second place is going to be Hayden. And Nathan gets P3. And, okay. 4th place is going to be Josh. Unlucky for him. He was leading the race at the start by a good margin. Just lost it, had to pit in early because he was on the softs, and then his strategy it worked. His strategy, it was good, but just not like he kept making a few mistakes, which caused the strategy not to be as good, which is a shame. And he comes across the line now and gets that P4. That, you know, he could have done a lot better than that, but you know, he'll now be starting in a very high position for the sprint race. I just bit my tongue. And Niall has no front wing at all. so that's good. Obviously the CRL F1 Baku race was amazing. This race was not so much. Let's hope that the sprint race is a lot more interesting, because yeah, this feature race was not the best. There's a few battles, to be fair, but not many that we could have. And now we just watch the celebrations. Why are we communicating with online services? So that is the feature race. Well, let's look at the standings, you could say, but I'm not going to. So Tobias wins, followed by Hayden. Oh, there you go. We'll just quickly... Okay, I had to take a few screenshots then, because... Wait, Tobias started last. So to be fair, that was a good effort. So now wait for this sprint race to start. And we'll see if... Now Ethan starts first, so we... Who's that guy in last? I don't know who that guy is in last, but it's so laggy as we go into turn 1. I am sorry about that. And Ethan goes straight on. I'm kind of a bit scared because it's lagging a lot, and I apologise for that if that's my fault. But whoever that bionic sweats is, it's not very good. Anyway, we have Josh battling with Tobias, with Ethan now at the back of the grid for 5th, and he goes for the move down the inside. But Ethan, there's mad beef between these two, surely, because Josh has just gone into Ethan, and yeah, these battles are not good. Hayden and Niall are having a really good battle, but Hayden just touches Niall, and that makes him lose a position to Nathan as well. This bionic sweats guy is really shit, and now Ethan's in a wall. There's going to be a lot of... don't know what's gone on between these two, but I know it'll be recorded, hopefully, so I can see as Josh retires again. No, not again. He didn't retire last one. So Ethan's now been screwed over by... If it is Josh, then he's been screwed over by Josh. And this is a mad battle between Tobias... Okay. Tobias and Niall now having a good battle. These two could be good rivals, to be fair. One of these guys have to move into F1 at some point, because, you know, we're not going to keep the same 20 drivers for the whole season. I mean, it'd be good if we could. We can't. But Hayden now leads, which I've not been taking paying attention to. So Hayden leads, followed by Nathan, followed by Tobias, followed by Niall, then followed by this random bionic sweats kid, followed by Porky Attack. Maybe Bionic Sweats is Josh's friend and he took out Ethan. I don't know, I'm not going to get into that. Anyway, the time at the moment in real life is 7:15. So, okay, I've just got a message from the big boss himself, Harvey. What have I done then? Okay, so we have a bit of beef. Okay, I'm not going to focus on that. So we have a yellow flag in sector 1. Who's that? I'm not even going to bother looking. But Hayden leads by 2.7 seconds, followed by Nathan, followed by Tobias, who's quite actually like literally following, followed by Niall, followed by Bionic Sweats, what a lad, then followed by Ethan in 6th, and looks like these two are about to have a battle between Nathan and Tobias. Let's see what's going to happen. Is he going to pull to the outside? He does, which will then turn into the inside for turn 1, but I don't think he needs to like dive bomb because he's made the move stick, but Nathan could get him. He might get him into turn 1 actually. Let's see, he goes for the move down the inside. Let's see, is he going to get squeezed? Nope, he's still on the inside and now he's lost the position. So yeah, we now wait for these guys to maybe take each other out. No, we're on lap 3 out of 5. This race seems a lot quicker than the feature race, but we wait for Nathan to maybe make a move on Tobias. Ow. I believe they'll all be on the softs. I haven't even looked at the tyres. No, really? Nathan and Niall went on the mediums instead of the super softs. And Nathan spins it. I knew that was coming. Okay, yeah, I knew that was coming then. As he uses a cheeky reset to track and Porky gets a 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits. How can you get a 10-second penalty for that? Like, that is... Oh, well. Anyway, we now... Okay. Anyway, Hayden now is commanding this race, a 4.1 second gap to Tobias. Tobias at the moment is going to be driver of the day because of his performance. Coming last in qualifying, winning the first race, winning the feature race, and getting second in the race. Like, he's doing pretty well for himself. So I'll give him driver of the day because he could win this race, like overall, win the Baku race, get the most points from this weekend. And we now wait, and Josh is now messaging me. I bet he's going to say, oh, Bionic Sweats is just got a 2-second time penalty for collision with Ethan. But Bionic Sweats is like miles behind, so it don't matter. I don't even know who he is. But we're on lap 4 now, and Josh messaged me, uh-oh. Hopefully he didn't... Okay, that doesn't matter. And Ethan's now retired from the session, so whoever Bionic Sweats is, I don't even know who he is. I'm just going to consider him as Josh, like as in Immortals. So this guy is now racing for you. It don't matter who he is, he's just racing for you. Congratulations, Josh, you've got a reserve. But Hayden now on lap 4, obviously, he's got a 5-second gap already. This race is even more dead than the bloody feature race. This is only 5 laps. And now Bionic Sweats is retired. Jesus Christ, everyone's retiring in this race. Okay, so now we just wait for Hayden to come across the line to finish, or get onto lap 5 out of 5. Obviously, remember to watch F1 later today. It's a bit more interesting than this. Let me just. Oh my God, it was. Hayden now on his final lap. Everyone's now on the final lap, I think. So, sorry I haven't been talking much. This race is just a bit dead. Hayden leads, followed by Tobias, followed by Nathan, and then Niall in 4th. Tobias is going to get driver of the day for his performance in the feature race and the sprint race. So, actually, I think Bionic Sweats should get it, because why not? But anyway, we now just wait for Hayden to come across the line and finish the race and maybe take a win. But now we see. So Hayden now, he's coming down the main straight and he is about to win by 4 seconds as Hayden comes across and wins the sprint race for Baku, round 2. Tobias comes second and gets driver of the day. Nathan comes across and gets 3rd, and Niall comes across now and will get P4. Bionic Sweats, we'll just call him Immortals because it's Josh now, will get 5th. Porky Attack Ethan will get 6th, and Josh Hammy is best will get whatever the other place is, 7th. Yeah. So that was F2 for CRL season 2, race 2, and pretty good overall race. Well, weekend. There wasn't many collisions, but there was a few that we'll have to obviously address because they should not be happening. But, well, we'll skip that because we know who won. So let's now take a picture of the results. So that was a nice race win for Hayden. And obviously the feature race we know. And now we look at the standings. Hayden got the most amount of points. And followed then by Tobias. Oh no, they both got the same. They both got 37. Then followed by Nathan, then Niall, then Josh. Then, why is my phone being a dick? Okay. But that was CRL F2. Team standings, Russian Time got the most amount of points then. So good for them. They'll be moving up quite high in the constructors. Oh, yeah. But that has been CRL round 2 for F2. And I've said that like twice, but well. And we'll see you again next week for another race. Yep, fun. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, stay around and watch F1 later. And I'll see you anyway. Bye.